All right, first of all, gentlemen, I'm speaking loud so I get on the camera and hear heard. Let's take a look at our lumber. If we look down this lumber right here, we don't have a very good piece, do we? Look at that, just eyeball down there. Couple problems with it, right? You look at it. It's warped, meaning in and out, and it's crowned a little bit too. Well, more warped than anything, there's not a real crown to it, so I'm not going to use that one right now. For my bottom and top plates, which we are working on, I want to choose something pretty straight. Take a look at this one. Much better, isn't it? So when you're doing that, you just take a look down there. This one has a little warp in it, but I can deal with that. Okay? So I'm going to use this as my top plate. The first thing I need to do for my bottom plate, I need a pencil. I lost my pencil, guys. I need to cut this at 8 feet. So, I'm going to show you how to cut this. Give me that tape measure, please. And did you not go get a pencil? We've got a, oh no, I got a tape measure. I don't have a pencil. I got this one. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, today we're going to construct an 8-foot wall. 8 foot long. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut my bottom plate to 8 feet. And what I would like to do is cut the top plate to the same length. Okay? So, you guys, while I'm measuring this one and showing you how to cut, take a look at these two and that one and tell me which one's the best one of the three. Hold that there. I'm going to mark this at 8 feet. Take a look at those. Pick them up like I showed you and tell me which of the three is the best one. Okay? And that one on the ground. Okay? Which of the three would you choose, Adam? We aren't using that one at all. This one is the bottom place. Let's do this. Slide that saw horse this way. I'll take those legs out. All right. Which one are we going to use? This one? Okay, that's fine. That's good. I want to line these two up. I'm going to take my speed square, butt it up against this end so that we're even. And here's my 8-foot mark on this one. I'm going to transfer it across to this one. Then I will cut it. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to swing around this way to cut this board. I need somebody on that end. I need the saw. Plug it in, please. Thank you, sir. They were cutting some plastic with this the other day. First thing I want you to know, right here on the saw, I have a depth adjuster. When I'm cutting a 2x4, I want maximum depth, so I push the table all the way up and I lock this down. Okay? When I make this cut, two ways you can do it. You can simply freehand it, which a lot of guys will do, or you can use your speed square as a fence, okay, or a guide. So what I'm going to do, this 0 mark right here, that straight line right there in that 90 is my lineup line, right there. That's what I line up with my mark on the board. I bring my blade up and I take a peek and see if I'm about perfect. There is where I want my speed square. That is now my fence. Now I can make a perfectly straight cut just like you're on a miter saw. See how I held the speed square there so it won't move like that? If you look at that cut, that's just like a miter saw cut. Okay? Addison, grab that, lay it on the ground. This one. Sliced. I'm going to double check my length here at 8 feet. Verify my mark. It's right there because we have several marks on this one. I'm going to slide this over. This is my mark right here. Anybody want to take a stab at cutting it? Anybody? Nobody? Andy? Go for it. You can either freehand or do what I did. It doesn't matter to me. You just want to cut it freehand? Okay, that's fine. Are you right? It doesn't matter. Okay, you can come from either side. I like, okay? So on this one, yes, you can. If you do it that way, I would come over here because you got more board length. Just let it go just a little bit, Kenny. I would come on this side and cut that way because I have more board length to put it on. Okay? So first line your saw up on the 0 mark. A little bit more. Now slide that up, pinch it tight. I think you're good to go. Okay. Of course, I forgot to put my goggles on. Okay, all right. We now have what we call our top and bottom plate, right?
Yep.
We will, but I don't need to mark out the double top plate. Addison's question was, are we going to have another top plate? Yes, indeedy. After we put the wall up, we put that on and we overlap this wall so it ties into this wall going this way. So that one doesn't have to get marked, but this one does for layout purposes. All right, I'm going to lay it out on the sawhorses so this fat old man doesn't have to bend over. So, Kenny, grab these two ends. Grab them, both. Take them down there. Set them on the sawhorses. Take this, when we get to framing Wallsteads, we may have to find some new boards. That one's horrible. Okay, here is the layout. Once again, speed square. Thank you. We're going to line up these two ends by taking the butt edge of the plate of the speed square, and we're going to go down here, and we look pretty good, don't we, Kenny? I'm going to pinch them together. Check it again. Are we still okay? I think so. Okay, these boards have a little wobble in them, but we're good. If we check this in, Andy, your cut was pretty good. We're darn close. Okay? Now, here's where you guys can tell me what to do. I am going to start from my left and pull to my right. That's the way I like to do things. In fact, in the construction world, that's the way they're going to do most things. I'm going to lay this tape out, and I want to do 16-inch on center. So from the lab the other day where you laid out a wall with no obstructions, what do I do? What's my steps in this? If I'm 16-inch on center, where do I make that mark?
A quarter?
A quarter, what quarter?
Behind?
Behind. 3/4 behind, which is 15 1/4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make my mark. And if you remember, the 16s will all be red. They will all have the red numbers with white numbers with red background. Or some of them are just all red. So my next 16 increment is 32. Where do I make my mark?
Like right here.
That's 32. What's that? 15 1/4, but I'm at 32 inches. Back off 3/4. Where am I? 31 1/4. I make a mark. I'm going to circle these because we got lots of marks on these. My next 16 increment is 32 plus 16.
48.
47 1/4. I'm going to circle that. Then I go to 64 and back up to 1/4. And then finally I make 80 and I back up to 79 1/4. And at the end here I'm at 96, but I'm going to come inside and make my stud on this side because that's the end of my wall. Okay? So I am done there. Somebody take the speed square and do the next part of the process. Andy's already volunteered. You're done. Unless you want to pick somebody. No? No volunteers? Okay, I will do the first one. I come to my first mark. I line it up in the V, and I mark across both boards. What side does my X go on? Left or right? Right. Put an X here. Also going to come back here, and I don't have to come in 1.5 inches. I told you that the other day. I just do it because it looks nicer. You come in 1.5 inches, and I put my X on the outside because that's my first stud. Every other one, the X will then go on the right. Okay? Janai, here, 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 and here. Make your marks. Go. I'll show you. Come here. Okay, so now we're at 31.25. See that V? We're going to slide the speed square there, and we're going to draw a line across and make an X on the right side. And here. Yep. I'm going to slide down to 48.25, 47.25. Yep. 64. Okay. And then we are going to go to our last one here, 80, which is 79.25, X. Okay. And right here, we come in 1.5 inches. Exit there. Okay. X denotes what, Kenny? What goes where the X is? The what? The studs. All the studs. Okay? So we've got them marked. All our big X's here are what we need. None of this other stuff because we've used these for other things. Okay. I want an 8-foot tall wall. 8 foot tall. Including the bottom and top plate. So what do I automatically subtract from my stud? From my framing studs? How much?
3 inches.
3 inches. Automatic. Okay? Then I'm going to take some off for the drywall and for some space. So, I'm going to tell you the length of the stud. If we bought pre-cut studs, they would be 92 5/8 of an inch. And that would accommodate for the 2 plates, some drywall, and some space at the bottom to kick drywall up so it's snug. Okay? So that's what your wall, this vertical studs that go in between. The studs will go where every X is, and they have a corresponding top and bottom plate marking. So let's take these, grab those out there, take them all the way out. You take the top plate, you take the bottom plate. Turn it just like this, opposite each other, about 8 feet apart. Okay? We're going to lay them down just like that. Now here's what I need, and we can stop the tape after this. I need to get one. If you look at this, I know exactly how many studs I need, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In an 8-foot space, I need 7 studs cut at 92 5/8 of an inch. You can stop the camera.